We do know how to choose the correct inverter, but we struggle to choose one. We struggle to choose the correct battery size, because a battery stores electrical energy to your inverter that can continue supplying power when there is no electricity from the grid or solar panel. So in this video, we are going to talk about how to size the correct battery for an inverter. So before we get started, please make sure you like this video, subscribe, and tell me what next you want me to teach in my next video. So I'm going to teach you step by step how to do how to size the correct battery size for your inverter. We have talked about how to size an inverter previously. If you want to watch that, you can watch my previous video. I've talked about how to size an inverter properly. If you want to really watch the inverter first, you can go and watch the inverter first, because in this video we are talking about how to size the correct battery. Only battery we are talking about. We are not talking about solar panel. I'm going to do another video which explain how to size the solar panel also. So stay tuned and let's get started. So the first step is to know what a battery does, because a battery stores electrical energy so that your inverter can continue supplying power when there is no electricity from the grid or solar panel. Think of this like a water tank. Yes, like a water tank. A battery is the water tank that stores energy, while the inverter is the pump that delivers the energy to your appliances. This is the pump that delivers your energy, distributed to many places. So this is the work of an inverter, while your appliances is the load. The appliances, these are the loads that use all the water, like the tap water. Now if you on the tap water and you use the water, so that tap water is the one that uses the water, so that is your load. So that is the best way how to explain it for you to understand. So the bigger the tank stores much more power. Likewise, the bigger battery stores much more electrical energy. So this is very important, because you need to know whenever you are sizing an inverter for your client. So the second step is to understand the battery level, because every battery has important information on its level. So you need to understand the battery level first. For example, a battery of 12 volts and 200 AH. And to understand AH, whenever you see an AH, what is an AH? AH means ampere hours. So it tells you how much current the battery can deliver over time. So for example, 100 amps hour is telling you that this is the amount of current the battery can deliver. This is the 100 amps hour is the amount of energy that the battery can deliver for an hour. So that is the meaning of AH. So the step 3 is what? The step 3 is to calculate all your total load. If you want to calculate all your total load, I've explained how to calculate all the total load in the previous video, which is the inverter, how to size an inverter. So every appliances has a load at the back of the appliances. You are going to see the power of each load at the back. So if you can't find the power, you can snap it or just put it online. It's going to give you the power of that appliance system. So every appliances has a power rating. Just check at the back of the appliances. You are going to see the power rating at the back of the appliances. Like a TV that supply a 120 watts, you are going to see it there. Like a fan that supply 75 watts, approximately 75 or 100 watts, you are going to see it maybe at the back or under the fan. You are going to see it in the body of the fan. Or a LED bulb, a 6 watt LED bulb, is telling you that this is the amount of electrical energy that this bulb is going to consume for 1 hour. So for a laptop now that produces 60 watt, 5 watt also, telling you that this is the amount of electrical energy that the laptop is going to consume for 1 hour. So add every total load together. Once you add your total load together, I'm going to do the small calculation for we to understand, so that we can catch up to understand. So I'm just explaining it first. So calculate all your load. Once you calculate all your load, the next step is to do what? The next step is to decide how long you want your backup, because this one is very important, because how many hours should the battery last? You need to know how many hours should the battery last. For example, you want electricity for 5 hours. So you are going to multiply your total load. You are going to multiply it by that 5 hours. Assuming you have a total load of 100 watts. This is my total load of the watts of my house, and this is everything that you want to run, like a peak voltage that will work at the same time. No, let's not use a peak voltage. Let me just use it. This is your total load 100 watts. This total load 100 watts is telling you that how many you now decide that how many hours should the battery last. This is very important, because you need to, you need to know this, because if you are just sizing your battery according to your load, it will run for just 1 hour, then it will die immediately. So you need to do what? You need to know how many hours should the battery last. Do you want it 5 hours? Do you want it 6 hours? Do you want it like 7 hours? Assuming you want your electricity for what? Your electricity for like 5 hours, and you will now multiply what? You are going to multiply the watts, the 100 watts, multiply by what? Multiply by 5. It will give you what? The 500 watt hour. So it's telling you that this is the amount of energy that what? This is the amount of energy the battery is going to deliver for 5 hours. So you need to be careful with this. So step 5 is what? Step 5 is to convert watt hour to battery capacity, because whenever you have converted, and whenever you have do your calculation, and you have get your what, you have get your how the time that you want your battery to run, you have get it already. The next step is to do what? Is to convert watt hour to what? To battery capacity. Because for you to calculate the battery energy, you need to do what? You need to multiply the battery voltage. You multiply by the what? You multiply by the battery capacity, which is the amps hour. Assuming we have a 1600 watt hour, we are going to divide it by what? We are going to divide it by the voltage, which is what? Which is the 12 volt. Like assuming we have a 12 volt a battery, we are dividing 16,600 watt hour divided by the voltage, which is 12. We are going to get approximately like 133 amps hour. So let's just say we have approximately 150 amps hour. So this is the amount of current that the battery can withstand. So see, this is the theoretical minimum before considering what? Before considering the real world factors. Step 6 is what? Is to don't use 100% of battery. This is very important, because if you are draining your battery too much, it's going to damage the battery over time. So battery should not normally be discharged completely. So battery should not normally be to be discharged completely. For example, a lead acid battery are often limited to what? Are often limited to 50% depth of discharge to extend their lifespan. Which means, what did I mean by this is that if your lead acid battery, you have a 100 amps hour lead acid battery, whenever it reaches what? It reaches like 50 amps hour. What are you going to do? 50% of that 100 amps hour. You should do what? The battery should stop working, because a lead acid battery, if you are using it, you are draining it more than 50% depth of discharge. It's going to what? The battery will not strong, because it's going to be damaging the battery a little bit. But a lithium battery, many lithium batteries can simply use much more larger percentage of their capacity. This one depending on the manufacturer specification. So many lithium batteries are very good. You can drain it below 50%, because lithium battery is very strong and is one of the best batteries so far. So if you need equivalent of 133 that we just calculated previously, or let's just say 150 amp hour that we just calculated previously on a lead acid battery, you should choose the battery with significantly more capacity. So step 7 is what? Step 7 is to choose the battery type. This is very important, because we have lead acid battery and we also have a lithium battery. Because lead acid advantages of a lead acid battery is that this one has a lower initial cost. This one is not expensive and it is widely available. Well, the disadvantages is that it has a lot of disadvantages, because this one it is very heavier. You cannot just be lifting it, carrying it around. It is very heavier and it has a short-term lifespan. So this one is not like a lithium battery. And it also have a lower usable capacity. It's not like a lithium battery. While a lithium battery, the advantage of a lithium battery is what? This one has a longer lifespan. can use it for a lot of years. You can use it for 10 years, you can use it for 20 years, and the battery will still remain the same. Like the battery will still be strong. That's what I mean. So this one, it also has a faster charging, and it is also lighter to lift. You can lift it, you can do a lot of things with it because it is a lithium battery, and it has a higher usable capacity. While it is the only thing that you can see that is disadvantages for a lithium battery is that this one is it's very expensive. That's a higher initial cost. So it's very expensive. That is just the disadvantages of what? Disadvantages of a lithium battery. So the step 8 is what? Is to make sure that your battery voltage must match the inverter. Your battery voltage must match what? Must match your inverter, because always match the battery bank voltage required by the inverter. Because if you are just using an inverter, you need to do what? You need to check the voltage of the inverter. You need to check the voltage of your what? Of your battery. The two of them must match together. The battery voltage must match together. So for an inverter size of a 1 kVA, it can use like 12 volt battery. For a 2 or 3 kVA, you can use a 24 volt battery. And also the like 6 to 7 kVA, it will be using what, like the 48 volt battery. So like that, it has a range like that. So always make sure that always match the battery bank voltage required by the inverter. Now we're going to do a small calculation for better understanding. Now assuming we have the TV that is supplying, that is producing it's producing 120 watts, and we have fan that is producing 75 watts. We also have a bulb that is producing 60 watts. This is the power of each load. While we have the quantity, let's say this TV is producing just like producing 120 amp, and we have one TV. We also have one fan. Let's just say we have one. We also have one bulb. Let's say we have one bulb. This is the quantity of each appliances. So I'm going to do the total. I'm going to put it here. 120 multiplied by 1. I'm going to have 120 also 75 watts multiplied by 175. We also have 60 watts multiplied by 1. We're going to have 60 also. So I'll be having roughly 255. So I'm going to be having 255 watt hour. So let's just say 255 watt hour. This is the total load. This is my total load here, 255 watt hour. So since I have 255 watt hour, so to do what? How many hours did I want my battery to run? Like assuming I want it to run for like 4 hours. I want it to run for 4 hours. What am I going to do? I'm going to multiply this by this, because I'm going to calculate this is the amount of energy I need for 1 hour. So I'm going to multiply it by this 4 hours. So 4 hours is what? 255 multiplied by 4 hours. We're going to be having 102 120 1020 watt hour. So this is our final answer. This is telling me that this is what my battery is going to work. My battery can carry for 4 hours. So this is my total load. Total load is producing 255. But if I multiply by 4 hours, for that 4 hours is going to give me what? It's going to give me 1020 watt hour for 4 hours. So you need to know this whenever you are doing whenever you are sizing the correct battery size. So this is how to size the battery, and please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.